Hello. Hello. Welcome. All right. Just give it another minute to let people come on. Dina, can you hear me okay? Let me know. And welcome everyone. We are talking money today. We've been talking money all week, or actually all month. Thanks, Dina. Talking money all month, month of April on the podcast and also over here on YouTube. So thanks everyone for joining us today, joining me. I'm Sari Kimball. I'm the creator of Food Business Success, and I help packaged food businesses start and grow food businesses that they love, that they're excited about, that make them money, that are profitable. Because I like to say, if you're not profitable, then you just have started an expensive hobby. And I know you guys are not in this to start an expensive hobby. And believe me, a food business can definitely be that. Anytime we are dealing with a product-based business, where we have to put out all of the cost of goods sold, all of the inputs up front, right? It's definitely going to cost us a lot more than just an idea, right? So there are a lot of costs involved, and we've talked about those over this month, and you can find lots of YouTube videos here on this channel about what to expect when you're starting and those magic numbers. But today, I want to talk about that magic number that you are shooting for, you're trying to get to as you grow your packaged food business. So I always like to preface this with there are a number of factors in your business that you need to consider. And not everybody is trying to be the next Justin's Nut Butter, right? And so please, if you are at a farmer's market and you are like, this is amazing, this is exactly what I want to be doing, maybe you're doing it part-time, totally not a problem, right? But this is the number that I like to give people when they say, what am I aiming for? When I'm doing a forecast for the next 3 years, I'm starting my business and I'm looking ahead and I'm saying, how can I get to profitability in 3 years? What's that number that I'm looking for? And this is again for those businesses that are wanting to be out there in a big way, really have a full-time, this is their job, their business that they're doing. So, and I should just say, actually, there is actually a way to achieve huge profitability in farmers markets, but it's probably not one every couple of weeks or here and there, right? It's this is your full-time job. So I wrote down some numbers just to kind of use some exact or some good examples. So first of all, we can do the drum roll, right? The magic number that I tell people to look for and shoot for is $250,000. So usually I pause for effect, because usually when I say that, people have a lot of drama that come up for them, and they're like, oh, what? $250,000 in sales? In money that I bring in a year? And I should just maybe clarify that's in a year. Yes. And let me tell you why. I'm going to break it down from the back, go backwards for you. So if you think about what $250,000 to $1,000 in sales represents, that is gross sales, right? And so out of that number, then we have to take our cost of goods sold, right? And there's lots of great videos on this channel, on the Food Business Success channel, about cost of goods sold and how to improve that number and what it is. And of course, we talk about that inside Food Business Success a lot. But we have to subtract out all of that. And then we also have and take out all of our overhead expenses, right? So that could be your kitchen, your licenses, your marketing budget, right? Marketing can eat up a lot of dollars. Maybe you're doing Facebook ads or you're doing promotions at grocery stores, you're doing giveaways. It can be other staff. It could be delivery. The money that goes into making all of those deliveries. It could be freight. It can be your insurance, your licenses, all of those kind of things. Your utilities, conferences, travel, on and on and on, right? The list is pretty long of all of your other overhead. So you subtract from there those two things. And then, of course, you can't forget taxes in there too. So at the end of the day, you're kind of left with what I like to say, and I think this will answer your question for you, Mary, as well, is that you're still shooting for $250,000. Wherever you are in your business, if you have not gotten there, that is the sort of magic number of where I'd like to see people get to be sustainable. Because when I work out the numbers with people, what $250,000 in sales gets you is a sort of a reasonable salary for you as the owner of about $35K a year. So it's not, we're not making huge money, but there is a salary there. It's covering all of your expenses that I just talked about, like all that list of overhead expenses. It's also covering your cost of goods sold. And we typically see about a 3 to 15% profit margin, like net profit after that. So you kind of add all of those things up, and at the end of the day, that is why you are shooting for $250,000. That gets you the efficiencies, your cost of goods sold. It really you are able to that cost of goods sold becomes a pretty good number as you scale up to that level where you can bring the COGS down with efficiencies by bulk ordering and doing larger runs and all of that good things. So just to kind of give you some numbers here, let's just say you did a farmer's market basically every week, and you did $1,000 a market. So let's just say you did it 50 weeks out of the year. So that's 100,000 right there. So that's why I say, like, farmers markets are no joke. Like, I definitely know people who are doing $1,000 a week. And let's just say you could add another, add at least another one. That's $200,000. So farmers markets definitely have great opportunities. It's your best margins, all of that good stuff, right? And then if you think about it in terms of, like, let's say your product is a $10 product. Well, in order to get to $250,000, then you need to sell 25,000 units, right, to get you there. So then you just have to start working backwards and saying, well, what are the mix of channels that I'm going to use to sell 25,000 units, right, at $10 a unit? And so a lot of people say, well, but I'm making money at a farmer's market, right? Or I'm making money online. And when I say, well, how much are you making? They're like, well, I'm making, let's just say $10,000 a year in sales. And it's like, well, that's awesome. Yeah, that is money. That's something great. But when you subtract out all of those expenses, and then let's just say you take a 10% net profit on that, 10% of $10,000, well, then you've just netted $1,000. So is it worth it for you to continue? This does take resources, your time, your energy, your health, potentially, like your sleep, right? As well as money. So you have to start weighing out, like, is it worth it? I was actually doing, thanks, Dina. Yeah, please drop your questions below if you have questions for me about this magic number. But I was actually doing a forecast with a client, and we were doing a 3-year forecast, and I was showing her this exact thing, right, of like why we want to get to $250,000, and that it is a salary of about $35K in there. And she was like, I don't know if I want to do this for just that. And I was like, Well, that might be a really good question to ask yourself, right? I think so much of the time, and it's fine, it's great, like to jump into a packaged food business. You're excited, you're optimistic, you're passionate. Um, but it is a really good exercise to get some numbers down on paper, probably within the first year, ideally. I don't want to squash your dreams, but I also want you to see like what is the reality of really having a successful packaged food business. I will tell you that, I mean, the kind of joke with some of my colleagues and people I know in the industry is like, they'll be like, well, this person wants to make money, and they're like, so why are they starting a packaged food business, right? These businesses definitely take years to grow and nurture, and typically I like to help people get there in 3 years, but you also have to decide, like, maybe a salary of $35K is not going to be what's going to do it for you in the long run. And I'm not saying you can't grow it beyond that and even get there sooner. But recognize that it does take money to make money in this business. And so a lot of the people I love working with and who are drawn to me are people who are bootstrapping. And so the timeline can be a little bit longer because we don't have deep pockets, right? We're not putting this huge amount of money, this huge investment up front to like really, put in the rocket boosters for the launch of that product. So all right. Does you guys have any questions for me? That's kind of the breakdown of like, here's the kind of the truth, truth talk, the not so fun part sometimes about money. But I like to say they're just numbers and we take out the drama, right? So we look at how do I create $250,000? Well, it would be, having 2.5 farmers markets a week that I made $1,000 at. It would be going on Amazon and my website and, going into grocery stores, and I need this amount of sales. But we also have to look at like, okay, what do those sales really cost you as well? So it's very, it's fun. I love doing forecasting, and we do forecasting work inside Food Business Success. I do it with my one-on-one clients. But it's really, really important before you just go all in and invest a lot of your own money that you run these numbers and that you feel comfortable with the potential outcome, right? And the reality is 80% of businesses fail after the first 2 years, and I don't want that to be you. So I want to help you create a profitable packaged food business and help you skip some of the steps and overwhelm and confusion and doubt. And so I want to invite you to apply for Food Business Success, where we deal with all of this about your numbers. We talk about your margins and all of your cost of goods sold, and what does your path, your personal path based on your product and your sales, what does that really look like for you to create the success that you want out of your business? All right, so I would love for you to subscribe to this channel. Please like this video, leave a comment below. If you have another question for me, you can leave it in the comments below about this magic number. What's it gonna take to have a profitable food business that you are in full-time? Because I know a lot of you want to be working full-time in your business. And then, of course, go over to foodbizsuccess.com and go apply over there. And then we'll get on a call and see if it's a good fit for us to work together inside Food Business Success. I would love to see you in there. And definitely go check out the podcast. All this last month, we've been talking all things money. So thanks so much, everyone, for joining me here. I'm Sarah Kimball, creator of Food Business Success. Really appreciate your time today. And I don't see any other questions coming in, so I will leave it at that. Go out and make some money. All right, guys, have a great day.